Hey guys, it's Dustin and Jeremiah with Tennessee Woods and Water. We got a little bonus deer. This is a freebie deer. We were eating at a landowner's house for Thanksgiving, and there were some deer coming through. I asked Jeremiah if he wanted to shoot one, and what happened?
I got nervous.
And that's okay. It's okay if you don't ever shoot a deer. It's okay if you don't want to. It's a big responsibility. But the landowner wanted me to shoot it, and he told me to go ahead and take it, so I went ahead and took the shot. So we got us a nice little doe here, and I'm gonna be showing Jeremiah how to, there's actually a deer walking by right now. I'm gonna show Jeremiah how to gut this deer. Excuse me, we'll show him how to field dress this deer, be a little more politically correct. And so hopefully you guys will learn the process. Michelle's running the camera. We're on an unbelievably steep hill, so we'll see how this works out. We're gonna get started with the first cut. We have a really sharp knife. The landowner was a butcher by trade, so he had a knife laying around he gave to us, so we're gonna give it a try. I haven't checked to see if it's sharp because I bet if I did, it would cut me. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing to remember, we're always gonna cut out skin into the hair. We're never gonna cut in hair into skin. That splits the follicles and gets a lot more hair in the meat. So now this video is gonna be graphic, so keep that in mind. If you don't wanna be a part of that, this is a good time to stop what you're doing and, you know, go to another video. But here we go. All right, Jeremiah.
Okay.
We'll get down here. So we're gonna grab it back here in the paunch. Got a big full belly. You wanna do it? Let me show you how.
I'll do it, I guess.
All right. You hold the knife good and strong.
Okay.
You push it right down in here and barely break the skin. Yep. We're gonna cut down here. This is a doe down around the teats or a male around the testicles. There's not a lot of hair. Just gently push it in. It's gonna gas out. Good job. Whoa. Uh-oh. He punched the guts, but that'll be okay. Now, what we're going to do is, you ready, Jeremiah? You're going to take the angle of the knife, you're going to lower it down. You're going to push all the way into the cavity, not just under the hide. You ready? Come on down. And you're going to keep the knife running out. Hold on just a second. Let me help you. Hold on just a second. Let me show you.
Okay.
Now, I've got a good grip. If you don't have a second set of hands, it's okay.
Like this?
Yeah, go ahead and push it in. Pull it up. Good job. Just work it up. You got it in too deep. You got it too deep. Too deep. There you go. Pull it back out. Now, just a second. There's a line right here on this deer. You can follow it all the way up in the hair, and that's about where you want to cut. Now we're going to show you an old trick. You take your 2 fingers. After you've got the big hole made, we barely cut in. We didn't actually cut any guts. I thought we did. But go ahead, Jeremiah. Take your knife. You ready, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Okay, take your knife and you're going to slide it in. Do you want to do it?
I'll let you do this one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do, guys, you take your fingers, a couple fingers. It's kind of hard from this angle. What you really want to do is take your 2 fingers and slide them in to where it's guiding the knife, pulling out. But, which is interesting because she's already bloating out a little. Must have had a big full stomach. She's full of caul fat, full of fat. Michelle actually just, she butchered her first deer. I think that was the stomach? I don't know if I decompressed. Yeah, I decompressed the stomach, which is fine because we're close to a water source. If I was able to slide my fingers in there and keep it pulled out, that wouldn't happen. But sometimes, actually, a lot of people don't realize that if you can gently let some of the gas out of the stomach, it makes them a lot easier to dress.
But it's stinky.
He's 100% right. So now this is how you make this cut. We're going to go back down the other way to make the other cut. Now I've got my hands here like this open. Going to cut back. Good. Now we usually have some different tools for this job, but we weren't really deer hunting, so we don't have them. Usually we will saw the pelvis open. Now this is the sternum. We're going to get down into it. Open up some of the meat. Actually, I don't know if you heard it, we just punctured the diaphragm. You can hear it running. Now, the bloody part of this shot is from here forward. That's why you're not seeing any blood in the guts. So I'm going to show you a trick. We're going to try to cut the clean part out first. Well, clean part, meaning not the bloody part. The diaphragm is going to keep the blood forward where the heart, lungs, kidney is. We're going to work in the back where the guts and stomach and intestines are. So I'm going to switch places with Jeremiah, and I'm going to come back around. I'm going to hug this tree because I don't want to fall down this hill.
Okay.
All right. Watch out there, Jeremiah. Don't let her fall. You can't see it, but back here around her anus, I'm going to cut, circle. Jeremiah's going to try to keep from moving the deer up there because it makes it real hard. Try to keep the leaves and everything out of this with your hands. Now, usually I'd split the pelvis with a saw. My saw's at home, so we're not going to do that today. Now, this is not a video to show you the fastest way to field dress a deer. I'm not fast, but I do try to be clean. Now, there's some bone in here. I could saw that out. I don't want to, so I'm going to do something. It's not always as recommended. I'm going to reach in here, I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to start pulling it out from the back. Now this is the caul fat. Every year I hear questions asked about caul fat. You know, oh man, I shot this deer. It had something real weird inside of it. It was a parasite. Some people call it lattice fat, but it's actually caul fat. You can take it and open it.
Is that a lymph node?
It might be a lymph node in there. So we'll take that lymph node out, but we will keep this. We'll wash it up. It's got a little debris on it. It has no biological debris. And we'll actually wrap some roast in this. When Michelle just shot a deer, we saved the caul fat from it. All right, back at it. Okay, you're just gonna reach in here. If you don't have a way to cut the bottom out, you just reach in and you grab it and you pull it out and you break it loose. And here in a minute, we're gonna flip the deer around the other way and let it drain out the bottom. When you're on a hill, if you hunt in Tennessee, you're always on a hill. When you're on a hill, you can just pull all this out, let it roll down the hill.
You can always use gloves too.
When we hunt, we always actually keep gloves. Michelle recently killed a doe and she made a comment about how much fat was inside. And it was very fatty. And this doe is the same as her doe. There's so much fat in here. So we're gonna get this out first. Remember I said we're gonna work from the back first, then we'll go to the front because the blood's in the front. Jeremiah, can you take her leg up the hill a little bit?
This leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one leg, not both of them, just one. There you go. Go on, Jeremiah, pull her up the hill. Drag her up the hill.
Good stable.
There we go. Now, we're going to start working forward some.
That's her stomach.
Yeah, this is her stomach. Oh, and there it is, the liver. I'm going to try to keep the liver out. Jeremiah, can you grab her leg and pull her up the hill quite a bit more? If you can't, that's okay. Let's try to make her flat. Show y'all a little trick you can do it. There you go. We're going to try to dump her. That's an unofficial term. There's a knife between your legs, so watch out. So we're going to get her up the hill. Come up here, sit next to Mommy.
Okay.
Sit down next to me. Reach my hand, hold it.
Yep.
You gonna hold it? Now, gotta hold on tight, she's heavy. Shucks, where'd my knife go? Ooh.
There's one of them.
Nah, just leave that one there. So we're going to keep working here. We don't have to have a knife for this work. All right, now we're going to go two-handed. Well, that's right. All right, so I puncture the diaphragm with my fingers. And there comes the soup. Try to get the liver out first. Now, we typically keep the liver, but not always. This liver's good. It's intact. Also in our hunting kit, we keep bags for all this. Now, it's about to get real messy. And we're not in a remote place, so we don't have to worry. We're not gonna do anything on purpose to get the deer dirty, but if you're in a remote place, you wanna be extra thoughtful about getting the carcass dirty. I'm gonna rip this out from one side.
Technically, all this should be sterile too, inside the deer.
Yep. She's a smart lady. Look at that fat. You could keep this. This is actually the kind of fat that old timers would have made pies out of. Pie lard, they used to call it, because it's real clear, pretty. Doesn't discolor your meat like the other kinds of lard do. Now we're gonna get up in here. Oh, get to the important stuff.
Well, why don't you cut it right there down? Is it too sneak there? Or...
Why don't you use the knife?
There's something about that that's more enjoyable. Well,
try not to get it all over the head.
yeah. There was a heart in here, but it's not here anymore. Sorry, it's a little too graphic. Wait, there's the pericardial sac. Michelle was just telling us about a video we like to watch, a videographer, and he was kind of laughing about. Cool. Hey, Solon, check it out. I saved the heart.
Did you get it through lungs?
Yeah. Yep.
Double lung?
Through and through lung. Used a nozzle ballistic tip out of a 7mm 08. It's a 120 grain bullet that we load. It's actually Jeremiah's gun. We won't show it on this video, but we like to investigate what happens when we shoot the animal. It helps us to become more ethical hunters and help us to make sure that we do things the best we can. This deer took 0 steps. It was essentially a DRT down right there.
But it didn't just fall. It had to wiggled.
It took a couple steps because it thought it could still walk. Once it remembered it couldn't walk any longer. It just slid down the hill. Excuse me, I got the knife here. Now don't be mistaken. we really don't eat any of this in here. There's 3 pieces of meat that we take out of this part of the animal. If we get a video, I'll show you a little bit better of what we do with the meat on the inside. Now, personally, I always check with the landowner before I dispose of any part of the deer. I checked with the landowner and I said, hey, do you want me to take this down the road to a public access area, dispose of it? And they laughed at me. They said, no, you can do it anywhere you need to. So we've got it. So there's actually some tenders in here. That's one part of the meat. I don't know if you can see them.
Why don't you take your ring off?
These are the inner loins. Some people don't like them. We really do. Then in here is the lining of the ribs. We typically eat our deer ribs, but actually this shot didn't do much damage to the ribs, so we might eat them. We might do something else with them. Some people just cut them out. Now I'm gonna show y'all something important back here. This, if you're out in the wild, you'd want to split this pelvis right here with a little saw, open it up, and in the back of my mind, I know that there's still some tissue in here from the front to the back. Back here's the rectum or the anus. I want to get that tissue out, and I'm going to get that out within an hour. I have some more tools somewhere else. I'll get those tools. Now, we're not going to show it on video, but there's still quite a bit of biological material up here in the front cavity because of the way the shot was placed. So in a couple minutes, we're going to turn the camera off. We're going to clean all this out. I don't want to show you anything too graphic. Just because you like to hunt doesn't mean you want to see everything going on. Well, do you have any questions about it, Michelle? Jeremiah, do you have any questions?
Why don't you just cut that all the way down?
Right here? Well, this is the sternum. We have a saw. If we had our saw, if we were hunting, we would saw this open. But now we're not going to. So this will be just fine. And you don't have to cut this open. It does help cool them down if you wanted to. Now, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell so you don't miss any notifications. We try to put a video out somewhere between 1 to 2 a month. And this is Dustin with Tennessee Woods and Water telling you to get out there and find your fun. Put them down in the comments what kind of video content you'd like to see more of us from. And hopefully we'll be able to get a nice picture of us skinning this deer out and starting on some of the whole cuts of the rear. Well, you guys, I hope you're having a good Thanksgiving, and see you later.
Bye.